everyone, and welcome to the One-Stop Co-op Shop. Today I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of Anachrony, or Anachrony, however you say it. This is my second time videoing a solo playthrough. If you didn't see my pinned post on my setup video, I did the whole playthrough, I edited the whole thing, and then I started exporting the playthrough. At the same time, I deleted the raw footage because I needed to use the memory card for other things, and well, my computer crashed, and I lost everything. Oh! So, this is a recreation of the board. You know, there is one good thing about doing this, though. I noticed that in the playthrough, you could hardly see the differences of the types of resources. So they also give you these cardboard cutout ones. And although the cubes are cooler in person, on video, I think these will show up better so you can tell the differences between the gold, the uranium, and the titanium. So I'm glad I'm doing that. You know, hey, I can make the video better then, right? So I try to do all the things set up as before. I watched my setup video again, and I've got the same setup of buildings and of workers, and even these two super projects. But then outside of that, it's been re-randomized, so who knows what's going to happen. It'll be totally different from my last playthrough. I am using the same division, so I'm doing the Path of Harmony. And yeah, that's it. So if you'd like to see how to set up the game, check out the video before this. Otherwise, let's jump in. This game comes with a wonderful player breakdown of phases. I love it. I love these player aids. The first one, which we'll start with, is preparation. Refill the mine and recruit pools, reveal new super projects, and then shift the building stacks. Well, we already did that to start with the setup video, so we can skip that. Paradox, so players with the most warp tiles on each timeline tile roll for paradoxes. We don't have to worry about that. You can ignore that as well because we have not had our first turn. So we actually will start at round 3. Power up. So you get to power up 0 to 6 exosuits and receive water income. So let's go do that. Here's where we're going to power up our exosuits. So we'll start by placing our 3 free exosuits that cost nothing to power up. Okay. Now these 3 all have a cost. If we want to have an exosuit go here, we have to pay 1 power core. Or if we want exosuits to power up here, we have to pay 1 power core or 3 water. So our plan is we're going to power up 2 more exosuits. We're going to do that by paying 1 power core. So we have this 1 power core. And then we'll pay 3 water for the other one. So here's our 3 water. Now, any of these spots that are left open, what you can do is receive water income. Some of the paths give you 1 water per empty space, some give you nothing. I think the Path of Dominance gives you nothing. But for the Path of Harmony, we get 2 water for every empty or non-powered up exosuit spot. So I'll get 2 water back after I gave up 3. So I really only paid 1. I'm not going to complain about that. Next, we have the warp phase. So each player may place 0 to 2 warp tiles on the current timeline tile. Now, when you play this competitively, I believe you do that simultaneously. But for the solo game, whoever is considered first player has to choose first. So the Chronobot is first player, so he'll choose his warp tiles first. The Chronobot will choose his warp tiles by rolling this die. Since he doesn't actually get anything from the future, this is just simulating what a real player would be doing. It doesn't really matter what he's asking for. We're just seeing, is he going to ask for 0, 1, or 2 items? So let's see. Ooh, he's going to ask for 1 item. Since we're in the first era, we'll place his single warp tile here. Now we get to decide what, if anything, we want to ask for from our future selves. We're looking to build one of the factories, so we're going to request 1 item as well. But what we're going to grab is 1 gold. So we now will have 1 gold available to us immediately because we've asked that from our future selves. Now we move to the funnest part of the game, the action rounds. So now we'll each take turns going back and forth. Chronobot will be first since he's first player. What is this Chronobot gonna do? Rolls a 3. We look to see on the board what we see up here as the action that the Chronobot will take. He's going to mine. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna move this, and following the arrows, we're gonna move it to this spot. So now it's more likely next time he will do some sort of building of a power or of a life support system, and this will be going around these 3 numbers, or actually 4, because once this 5 gets in, these 4 numbers are going to be going around all of these actions. Here we have the order that the Chronobot will obtain their resources. First, looking for neutronium, then looking for uranium, then looking for gold, and then looking for titanium. But we're looking for one of each, because once he gets all of these filled, he can cash that in for 5 victory points. So first, you're looking for uranium and gold since there's no neutronium on the board. The Chronobot will place his bot right here, and he'll grab 1 uranium and 1 gold. He will then place each one on the board like so. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a recruit action. Now, to do a recruit action, we can't use any of our scientists. We have 2 scientists. We can use an engineer. The only catch with the engineer is they cannot recruit geniuses because geniuses are too good for engineers. I don't know. We can use an assistant and they can recruit anybody. So because of that, we're going to grab, because we don't have an assistant, we're going to grab an engineer, place him in our exosuit, and then we're going to recruit an assistant. Since we recruited an assistant, we get 1 victory point. Woohoo! That's 1 point for us. Because we recruited the assistant this turn, he will come into our active slot here, and we can use him right away. Now we go to the Chronobot's turn. What is that Chronobot going to do? Ooh, looks like a 1. The Chronobot here is going to build, and you can tell which type he's going to build by this symbol. He's going to build a power plant. Now this 1 is going to be going back and forth between these 3 actions. So we'll move it here, and now we'll do a build action. We'll place his exosuit right here. Remember, he's always looking for the highest victory point. So you can see this will give him 1 victory point, and this will give him 4. He will definitely grab the 4 victory point building. He will then place that on his board right here. So if you think about it, we're already behind him. He's got 4 victory points, we have 1. We're now going to take that assistant that we just recruited, and we're going to go recruiting again. Now you see this, that means we have to pay 1 water to do this. So I'm going to put him there and give up 1 water so that we can gain a genius. What's nice is we get to pick with the genius any of these 3 benefits. We can get 2 water, a power core, or 1 victory point. And I think we're going to go for another power core. All right, Chronobot, let's see what you're going to do. Looks like you got a 4? Yeah. On a 4, the Chronobot is going to build his first life support system. And now you can see there's another chance that he could do that again even this turn by rolling a 3. The Chronobot will place his exosuit right here. Now you see how there's that cost? He doesn't have to pay any of the costs on the board. So he gets to do this, he blocks off this build spot, and he is going to build. He's looking for the highest victory point possible, right? But these are both 1s. So how do you choose which one? Well, he always takes the 1 from the secondary stack first. So he'll grab this 1. He will then place it on his board right here. He can get 2 more of those. Back to our turn, and what we want to do is build. But you see this? We can't build right now. This is totally full. Except for we have these 2 capital actions that we can take by, if we go here, we can do any of these 3 actions. So what we're going to do is pay 1 water, so that we can place our worker here. Now, if we wanted to pay 2 water, we could go here, and we can also nab first player. I don't think that's worth it. Instead, I'm going to just pay 1 water and go here so I can build. I'm also using an engineer. Now, the nice thing about using an engineer is you get a 1 titanium discount whenever you use an engineer to build. We're going to go ahead and build a factory. Now, don't forget, what is our evacuation benefit? If we evacuate, we get 2 victory points as long as we have 3 life support systems. But we also get 3 victory points for every piece of gold and genius. So we just recruited a genius, and now I'm going to buy this so that we can get 2 gold around if we wanted to. Unlike the Chronobot, we actually have to pay to build our buildings. We have to pay 2 titanium, 1 gold, and 1 water. But since we used an engineer, we only have to pay 1 titanium, 1 gold, and 1 water. That is going to allow us to place this right on our character mat, or our Path of Harmony mat, and that gives us 2 victory points, and it gives us a way to get 2 gold. We move back to the Chronobot. Looks like a 2. On a 2, he's going to build a lab. Once again, the building's actions are full. We took this spot, so he will take this spot, retaining first player, and he will be able to build a lab. We have a 3 victory point lab and a 2 victory point lab. Looks like he's going for the 3 victory point. We'll place that lab right here. And that's another 3 points for him. Jeez, he's killing me right now. I'm going to use our leader special ability, and that gives us 1 free board action. We're going to pay 1 water, and since this is on our board, we don't need to use an exosuit, so we're going to grab one of our scientists, go here, and we're going to get 2 gold. Yeah. Now normally that would take an action and we go back to the Chronobot, but we don't have to do that because I used my leader ability as a free action. So let's go do our real action now. With our scientist, we're going to go to this spot. I don't even remember what this is called, but here you can have as many exosuits as you want. So other players can go here even after I've gone here. We get 3 water when going here. However, I used a scientist, so we actually get 4 water. Here comes the Chronobot. Rolling a 3. On a 3, the Chronobot would want to build another life support system. However, all the spaces to be able to do building is filled. So what would happen is he just moves this to here. He gets 2 water. Now that's all he gets on easy. On normal, he also gets a victory point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you when I count up the score, the difference between the normal and the easy, and we can see if I win both ways. So I'm going to put this 1 victory point in a different spot, just so that way we can track the difference. For our final action, we're going to use our genius and come over here to do some mining. Now, if you look at this mining action, you can bring a scientist, an engineer, or an assistant, and of course a genius, because a genius can act as any 3. As a scientist or an assistant, they'd come back exhausted. But as an engineer, they would actually come back being motivated. Just zooming in here so you can see that little eye. So what I'm doing with my genius is I'm going to have the genius act as an engineer. Since the genius is acting as an engineer, she will actually come back motivated. And you can guess what I'm grabbing. I'm grabbing 2, yeah, that's right, 2 gold. That gives me a total of 4 gold. Chronobot, gets a 3. The Chronobot would try and recruit. That's what this means. He doesn't get the benefit when you recruit like we do, but he would still get to recruit and grab maybe a genius, especially because there's a genius sitting out there. But all the actions are filled, so once again, on easy mode, he'll just get 2 water, and on regular mode, you'll add 1 victory point. That is going to end era 1, as we're going to pass, and then the Chronobot doesn't get to go again. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to pull all the workers off here. Everyone's going to come back tired, except for this genius will come back motivated because he's acting as an engineer. Then we'll move to the cleanup phase. For cleanup, we have retrieved our workers, we've checked for impact, that doesn't happen until after the 4th round. We check for the game end, that can't happen until after impact, and then we move on to the next era. Let's move to era 2. So we'll move our focus to era 2, and then we'll reveal the super project above era 3. So we have that for reference, we know that in the future we could buy that. We move to the preparation phase, we'll refill the mine and recruitment pools, reveal new super projects, and shift the building stacks. Looks like we'll have 1 scientist, 1 engineer, and 2 assistants, but no geniuses. And then 2 gold, 1 uranium, and 2 titanium. We'll also shift all of our building stacks. 1 over. Next is the paradox phase. Players with the most warp tiles on each timeline tile rolls for paradoxes. In era 1, we each have 1 warp tile, so this means we're both going to have to roll the paradox die. We'll have to roll this die to determine how much paradox we're going to have. We'll roll for us first. 1 paradox. So we'll be placing this on our character mat. Here is for the Chronobot. Looking for 2 here, looking for 2. 1. We'll still take it. We have 1 that we're going to have put on his sheet, or his character mat as well. Next we have power up. Now, I'm going to power up mine, and I should have said this last time. Hopefully I'll put a note. But the Chronobot always powers up all 6 of his exosuits. So we'll have these 3 that are free for us. And then we'll pay 2 power cores so that we can put 2 more out like so. But because we left 1 blank, we're going to get 2 water. Getting this 2 water is going to give us 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We have 10 water, you guys. We are rolling in the water. Hopefully we don't drown. Warp phase is next. We'll roll the warp or the paradox die to determine how much the Chronobot is asking for first. Since he's first player, he has to decide first. He's asking for 1 thing from his future self. We'll place his warp tile right here. We're going to also ask for 1 thing as well, and we're going to go for 1 neutronium. We're going to hopefully use that to build a power plant station. Maybe. We'll see if we can get there. Let's start the action round. First is the Chronobot. He gets a 3. Already we can see that he's going to probably build us out of being able to build everything that we want to this round. He's going to build a factory. The Chronobot will place his exosuit right here, and he'll grab this factory since each of them are only worth 1 victory point. He will place that factory right here, and that is once again another victory point for him. We're not going to play around. The first thing we're going to do is do our free action on our board. We're going to supply our workers. Now, if we used an assistant, this worker comes back motivated, so this genius is going to come back motivated next round. We're going to pay 5 water, which is denoted down here by the morale track. So we'll pay 2, 4, 5, and then we get to move up on this track to get 2 points, and all of our workers here become motivated. Now, normally that would take an action, but since I use that as my leader ability for my free action, we can do something else next. You better believe we're going to be doing some sort of building because we do not want to not be able to do that. So we'll place our worker here. We'll have to use 1 water to go there, and we're going to build a lab. This lab is pretty much a no-brainer. It only gives us 1 victory point, but it's going to give us a genius. We'll have to use an assistant and 2 water, but they'll come back motivated, and we'll get a genius. Oh, yeah. In order to place this lab, we'll have to pay 1 uranium, 1 titanium since we're using an engineer, and then 1 water. And we can place this right here. Yeah, that means we now have a way to get a genius every round. The question becomes, is the Chronobot going to try and build? A 3? No, he's not. So at a 3 here, normally he would try and supply his workers to increase his morale. But he needs 5 water, but according to what I see here, he only has 4. So that means he can't supply his workers. So instead, he's going to try a recruitment action. He'll place his exosuit here, and then he recruits first a genius, well there isn't one, next would be an assistant. So he'll grab an assistant, and he does not get any of these benefits like we do. He'll place the assistant on his board here. If he gets 1 of each of these worker types, that's 5 victory points for him. We're going to try and build again, but remember, these are full, so we're going to have to go to this spot. We could go here to grab first player, but I don't want to pay 2 water. So we're going to pay 1 water to be able to bring our engineer to this spot. Our 2 options are any worker to go 2 back in time for 3 victory points, or any worker go 3 back in time, be able to immediately remove 1 warp tile, but only 1 victory point. This is just too good to pass up. I know it's less victory points, but I like the ability. In order to build this power plant, we're paying 1 neutronium, only 1 titanium since we're using an engineer, and 1 water. That means we now can go back in time, and we can remove 1 warp tile on the time tracker as well. Although getting rid of this warp tile for gold would be great because that gold gets us victory points, we're still going to remove this warp tile because we can still go back in time this turn and pull that off. And then the Chronobot would have to roll 2 times for the paradox, and hopefully he'd get an anomaly, which would be -3 victory points. I still think that's better than trying to take this one off and then having to roll the paradox die again next turn. Back to the Chronobot. A 6. That is our first 6 that we've rolled. So for our 6s, they only go back and forth between these 2 spots. And he'll just get 2 water. That's also going to allow him to be able to supply his workers when he gets to that spot again and boost his morale. Because now he has 6 water. And we'll move this over. I also, you guys, I think I forgot to move this 3 on camera before, but yeah, I moved it from the supply worker over here to this build action. I'm going to use a genius, and I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to grab this titanium, and don't forget I can grab any of these over here, so of course I'm going to grab a gold. So I got a titanium and a gold resource. What is this Chronobot going to do? A 3. It's like the Chronobot knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to build 1 more time, but I'm not going to be able to because he's going to take the last capital action to be able to build a laboratory. Since all the build actions are covered and we have blocked this spot, the Chronobot's going to go here, retain first player, and build a lab. The lab he's going to build is 3 victory points. Oh, that's his second lab. He can only build 1 more. Thank goodness. Water just seems to be so scarce, or I just keep using it so fast. So I'm going to place an exosuit here with a scientist to get 3 + 1, 4 water. That puts our water back up to 5. Chronobot time! Ooh, a 2. At a 2, the Chronobot's going to do a research action. So we'll move here, and he will get some sort of breakthrough. He'll place his bot right here, and now he doesn't matter what symbol he gets because he's not trying to get the breakthroughs to be able to buy super projects. So it doesn't matter the symbol, but he'll roll the shape die. And don't forget, if he gets one of each different shape, that's going to give him an additional 2 victory points. And you always get 1 victory point for every breakthrough you have. What shape is he going to roll? Ooh, a triangle. We'll give him this triangle with the bullseye on it. We're looking to do 2 more actions here. Our first is we're going to use our assistant here and 2 of our 5 water, and we're going to get another genius, and that goes in our active area. The Chronobot rolls a 3, which is going to be another research action. He'll move this over, and he's going to probably do some mining next time, and he'll do another research action. We'll place his 5th exosuit, he only has 1 more, right here, and roll the shapes die. I'm really hoping he gets another triangle. Yes, another triangle! We'll give him this shape, but that way he's not only 1 shape away from getting a set of 3. Here's our last action. We're going to use our scientist here and go back in time to pay off one of our previously required items, which was that gold. We'll move our focus back up to 3 spaces, but since we only have 1 era before this, 1 era, we will then pay 1 gold to pay off this warp tile, and that's going to get us 2 victory points on our time travel tracker. We'll move up to here. This is the Chronobot's last turn. I'm really hoping he doesn't roll a 1. Oh, a 4. Okay, good. Well, he isn't stupid. He's going to do some recruiting, and that is going to use up his last exosuit. He'll place his worker here. Now, he go for a genius. There isn't one. He already has an assistant, so the next one he goes to is the engineer. He'll place the engineer here, and now he only needs a genius and a scientist to score 5 victory points. This is going to end Era 2 because I'm going to pass. I'm going to have a genius coming back to me over here motivated because she was acting as an assistant to give morale to my workers. I'm also going to have this genius come back to me motivated because she's acting like an engineer for the mining action. Otherwise, I'm going to clean up this board. We check for impact and check for game end. Neither of those happen, so we'll move to the next round. Starting Era 3, the first thing that we get to do is move our focus back to the current period, which is Era 2. We're then going to move to Era 3 and reveal this super project. Ooh, anti-gravity field. To refill the supply, we're going to have 1 scientist, 2 engineers, and 1 genius. Yeah. So now, I know I can make geniuses on my own personal board, but here's the thing. If I leave that out there, the Chronopot very likely will take it, and that will get him closer to getting the 5 victory points. So I might still nab that. We also have 2 neutronium, so we finally have neutronium out there, and 3 uranium. Next is the paradox phase, and we look to see, well, you know what? The Chronobot is rolling the paradox die 2 times. Yeah! And us? None. I think it's time he gains an anomaly. What do you guys think? Oh, okay. He gets 1 more for his paradox, so that gives him a total of 2. He has to roll 1 more time. Let's see if he gets an anomaly. Yes! That's his 3rd one. He'll get an anomaly. He'll place his anomaly token right here. This says he gets -3 victory points, but he also gets to remove one of those warp tiles. When deciding which warp tile he's going to remove, he always looks to see where he has the most warp tiles, and he'll remove them. But if he's tied, he'll always go to the oldest era. So he'll remove this warp tile. Something I almost forgot to show you guys I'm doing is moving the supply stacks. I always forget that. There we go. Now we're going to do the power-up phase. So I first get my 3 exosuits for free. And then I'm going to pay 1 power core, the 1 power core I have left, for this one right here. Now I have 2 spaces left here, and I think I'm just going to leave it at 4 and instead gain 4 water. This 4 water that I'm grabbing is going to make me have a total of 7 water, and I don't have a lot, so that's why I ended up doing that. But now I'm really restricted for this 3rd era. Don't forget, the Chronobot does all 6 of his exosuits are always available. Here comes the warp phase. Let's see, what is the Chronobot going to ask for? He's going to ask for 1 item. He'll place his warp tile right here. I'm going to be risky. I'm going to request an exosuit, okay? So I get my 5th exosuit that way. But that means in the future, I'm gonna have to give up an active exosuit to be able to give that, to be able to pay that back. So, but this way I have 5 exosuits, but I only had to pay for 4. Per normal, the Chronobot will go first. And he rolls a 2. 2 means the Chronobot is gonna go mining, and that's not good at all because he's gonna get himself 5 victory points here. The Chronobot will set his exosuit right here, get 1 titanium and 1 neutronium, and that's gonna get him 5 victory points. He'll place the neutronium here, the titanium here, and then he will grab 5 victory points and put all of these back in the supply. Ugh, that hurt. The first place we're gonna go is we're gonna go build. So because this is not gonna cost us any water, we're using our genius so we get a 1 titanium discount. I'm getting a little nervous here because I have to build 3 of these life support systems and I haven't built any of them. But I'm gonna build one of these now. So this one would allow us to, when we supply our workers, we divide it in half, rounded up. This one, we would just get 8 water 1 time and it sits there, but it gets us 2 victory points. We're gonna go with more helpful first before the higher victory points. We're gonna have to pay 1 titanium since we're using a genius as an engineer and 1 water, and we can place this right here. And that comes into effect immediately, which is really nice. Chronobot time! He gets another 2. The Chronobot knew just what to do. He wanted to get another life support system since he saw me doing it. So he'll do a build action. Oh man. He'll place his worker right here. And he doesn't care about usefulness. He's going for victory points. So he's gonna grab this one. That is 2 more victory points for the Chronobot. I'm gonna use one of my geniuses to act as an assistant so I can grab another genius. I'm also going to get another power core because I'm all out. I need those power cores to power up those exosuits. I want to be able to build, so we're looking for a not 4. That's a 1. Well, anything really that the Chronobot does is not good, and this is one of them that's not good. He's going to go travel back in time, and he's going to remove one of his warp tiles. So we're going to move this to here. We're going to move this because he's going to get 2 points for this, and we're going to remove one of his warp tiles. He's got 1 in era 3 and era 2, so he'll take 1 off of era 2. So now, at most, he'll roll 1 die for the paradox. We're going to use one of our geniuses and go to the trading center. Now, our bartering centers. This is where you go and trade with the nomads. And so, with a scientist and an engineer, you can do that. But with an assistant, you can do this up to 2 times. We're going to have her act as an assistant, but I still think we're only going to do it once. What we're going to do is we're going to trade 3 water for 2 resources, and we're going to get a titanium and a uranium. We're going to do that so hopefully we can build next round another one of those awesome life support systems, because we really need to do that. We need to have all 3 of those. You know what would be a great roll right here? A 6. Oh, it's a 3. Looks like he's going to go mining again. But here's the thing. All of these numbers are really far away from going mining a second time. So although he's going to get 2 of the resources he needs, he might never get back over there with any of these numbers. So we might be okay. He'll place his exosuit right here to get a uranium and a neutronium. He'll place them on his board here and here. Ooh! The building actions are full, but that's not going to stop us. We're going to go here and pay 1 water to be able to go and grab another power supply station. We're going to grab this one, which will every round give us 2 free water. Yoink! We'll have to pay 1 uranium, only 1 titanium because we're using a genius as an engineer, and 1 water, and we can now place this right here. We're also going to use this free action right away to gain 2 water back, so we have 3 water left. I'm going to use my leader action and do 1 free action on my board as well. I'm doing a bunch of things here. You know that 2 water I just got? Well, I'm going to give it right up, and I'm going to use it with this assistant to get another, what are these called? Geniuses! Oh yeah. Let's see what that Chronobot's going to do. Oh, he rolled a 1. That's terrible! Remember how hard I worked to make sure he got this anomaly? Well, with this action, he can pay either 2 of the goods that are not Anachrony, so uranium, titanium, and gold, and 2 water to remove one of the anomalies. But he doesn't have 2 of those, so what he'll do is just pay his 1 neutronium and 2 water, and he removes this anomaly from his board. So he just gained himself 3 victory points back. Ugh! Our final action is going to be using a genius and coming to the mining station, and we're going to grab 1 gold and 1 uranium. This will be the last Chronobot turn. Oh, he gets a 5. That's his first 5 he's rolled this whole game. Now you might say, Colin, are you crazy? How do you know that? Well, the only reason I know that is because he just gets 2 water for this 5, okay? So here's this 2 water. But then this moves in, and it's going to be going into his little circle with the other 3 numbers. And so that's the only time he'll do that with a 5. So that's the only reason I know he's never rolled a 5 yet. That will end Era 3. I'm just going to have this assistant, who I used to get a genius, coming back active and motivated. And this genius over here coming back active and motivated. Otherwise, I'll clean up the board and we'll move on to Era 4. To start Era 4, we'll move our focus over here. We'll then reveal this super project, the Grand Reservoir. Let's not forget to move these stacks 1 over. Heck yeah. Refilling our workers, we're going to have 1 of each type. And for the mine, we'll have a neutronium, a gold, a uranium, and 2 titanium. Next, we're going to see who has to roll the paradox die. The only timeline tile that has any warp tiles is the Era 3 tile, and we each have 1 warp tile, so we're both going to have to roll the paradox die. This first roll is for me. Okay. I get 1 more paradox. That's going to give me 2 total. If I get 1 more, I will have an anomaly. Let's see about that Chronobot. Yes! He's going to grab 2 paradoxes. This means he already is only 1 away from getting an anomaly back. Yes! Next, we'll do our power-up phase. Here's the thing. We're going to get our free 3 exosuits. We only have 1 power core, so that will power up this one, and we have to leave these 2 blank. But that is going to give us 4 water. We'll take that 4 water with very much happiness, because that puts our water to 5 instead of only 1. Next, we'll move to the warp phase. This is going to be the Chronobot determining what he wants from his future self. He has to go first since he's first player. He wants 1 item. We'll place his warp tile right here. And then we're going to request 1 titanium from our future self. Now it's the action phase. The Chronobot goes first. He rolls a 4. At a 4, he's going to build a factory. He'll place his exosuit right here, and he'll grab the 2 victory point factory right in this spot. He'll place that factory right here, and that's another 2 victory points for the Chronobot. The first thing we're going to do is use 1 of our geniuses and come here and build, but we're going to have to pay 1 water to do it. We got that titanium, so we can grab 1 more of these life support systems. That's going to make it so our evac is going to be complete. So all we have to do is evac our workers after the impact. This is going to cost us 1 uranium, only 1 titanium because we're using a genius as an engineer, 1 gold, and 2 water. That lets us put this final and awesome looking life support, and that it just makes me really happy because we've completed that objective. Since we're here, we might as well also do this and immediately get that 2 water back. That gets us 4 water, thank goodness. We're now simply looking for a not 2. Oh, It's a 3. I don't honestly know, but I feel like every time we build a life support system, so does he. So that's what he's going to do, build a life support system. Since the building action is full, he'll go and place his worker here, ensure that he is the first player, and he will build his final life support system. Each one of these is only worth 1 victory point, so he'll grab from here. That will be his third and final life support system. We have to deny him that genius because that's going to make him very likely he'll get 5 more victory points. So we're going to go here with a genius to recruit a genius. We're also going to grab a power core with getting that genius. Okay, now I'm rooting for a 6. I really want a 6. It's a 1. Have I ever mentioned that I feel like the Chronobot is a build hog? He is going to build yet again, and he is going to build a power plant. He's going to take that last capital action up here, so now I'm not going to be able to build anymore, and neither is he. The constellation for me is that there's only a 2 victory pointer out, so he'll grab that. He'll place that on his board. He can get 1 more power plant. I'm going to use my leader and do 1 free board action. I'm going to use this assistant and supply my workers. I only have to pay 3 water, because it's 5 divided by 2, rounded up, because of the life support system I have. I get 2 victory points for it. He'll come back as motivated next time, and all of these wonderful workers come back and are available to me. And that was a free action. I'm going to use one of my scientists to go back in time, and we're going to pay off that exosuit debt. This means we'll go back to our focus here. We're giving up an active and available exosuit, and then we're paying this off. So we don't have to roll the paradox die for this warp tile. Chronobot time. A 1. Oh man, this Chronobot is killing me. He's going to go back in time too and remove 1 of his warp tiles. He's also going to move up the time travel tracker. And you know what? That's something I forgot to do on my board, so I should also do that. I will also be at 4 victory points. I'm not going to show you that, but I'll be at the same level. You'll see that when you see my board next. He's going to remove this warp tile. Now he's only going to have to roll the die once, just like me. I'm going to use my other lab assistant here, or other scientist, lab assistant, pay 1 water, and I'm going to get 2 more gold. Yeah, racking up those victory points. I'm trying to keep up with him. He's just blasting through. I'm trying to do it too. And the Chronobot's going to do number 3, which is he's going to recruit. He'll move this number 3 here, and he's going to go and recruit. And it looks like he's going to get a scientist. He'll place his exosuit here and grab the scientist, since he already has an engineer and an assistant. The scientist goes here, and now only needs this genius, and he gets another 5 victory points. So we cannot let him do that. Our next action is we're going to use a genius and bring him over here with an exosuit to get and act as a scientist to get ourselves 4 precious water. I've never had such a hard time with water before. That is 3 and 4. Yep, there's our 4 water. The Chronobot is going to try and build again, but he's going to fail at it, so he's just going to get 2 water and a victory point. Normally he'd try and build a factory, but all of the factories, or all of the building spaces are full, same with the capital actions. So he will just move this here, get 2 water, and then if playing on normal mode, another victory point. So if he was playing on normal mode, he would have an additional 3 victory points right now. That's what he would have compared to the easy mode. I'm going to place a genius here, and then that genius is going to come back motivated, but I'm going to get 3 more water. Thank goodness. After looking at it, pretty sure that's going to be my last action, so let's see what the Chronobot's last action will be. A 1 again. This actually could not have come at a better time. So normally he would get rid of an anomaly, but he can't. There is no anomaly, so he will just get 2 water, and that's only 1. Whoops, there we go. 2 water, and for the normal mode, a victory point. You know, I lied to you guys. I'm sorry. I decided that I'm going to do this action as well since I do have enough water. So I'm going to go here with Genius acting as an assistant, pay 2 water, and I'm going to get another Genius. And what's nice is this Genius is going to come back motivated. Ho, 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 ho. Now this is the final Chronobot turn. A 2! This makes me happy, you guys. I did not like having this 2 here on the recruit action because he could have potentially recruited the first round next action if there was a genius, get 5 victory points. Now he can't because he's going to move from here. He'll just get 2 water and then 1 victory point for the normal mode. That will end era 4, and in this era, I'm going to have a bunch of people coming back motivated. I've got 2 geniuses over here that's going to come back motivated, which is really nice, and 1 assistant because he was the one that was used to supply our workers. Otherwise, we'll pull everybody back and we'll move on to step 6, which is checking for impact. After bringing our focus back up to the present period, we look to see, and we have impact. Yeah, I know that was kind of pathetic. I should have hit the camera harder, but that is impact. The first thing to do when impact happens is flip over the scary looking faces in the city area, and we flip them to red. This just looks really cool, and it shows us the area where we can go to be able to evacuate. We'll go here. The Chronobot will never evacuate, but when you're playing competitively, you can have more than 1 player evacuate. And look at this. It's all in fire and flames because of the impact of a huge, awesome meteor. Next, in the city actions, we'll place these tokens here to show that there's going to be some additional benefits when we take those actions. But after doing that, the actions are going to be closed off. And that's one of the ways the game will end. Once there's no more city actions available, the game is done. Or the 7th round, whichever one happens first. We'll place 2 in the building spot. So 1 here and 1 here. And I should try and put these so you can... There we go. We'll have 2 in the recruitment area. 1 here. Oh, yeah. I love that one. And 1 here. Oh, my gosh. I love that one, too. And then 2 for the researchers. I haven't even done a research action. And I really should. Especially when I see that. So each one of these has a benefit for us. So if we go here and we build a super project, which actually looking at my board, I can't even build. So this isn't really that helpful. But if you build a super project, you get 2 victory points. Here you can do an additional build action. So you can actually build twice if you go in this spot. Here you get a free exosuit. Here you increase your morale by 1. Here you get to set an additional die to what you want. So you can get exactly what you want when you do your research action. And here you just get straight 2 victory points. But now, each time that either the Chronobot or we go to a spot, when we remove them, they're going to get flipped over and become unavailable. So then all the worker placement spots get tighter and tighter. It's such a cool mechanic. And it's really scary because all of a sudden you're trying to do all these different things and you don't have enough time to do it. When you have impact, part of the area where you can power up your exosuits gets hurt. So we'll have some unavailable spots placed on our board. For the Chronobot, he will just lose 2 exosuits, so now he'll only ever power up 4. For us, since we're the Path of Harmony, we lose 3 of our spots to power up exosuits, which is worse than normal. That means the most that we can have is 3 exosuits. Hence the reason I'm really excited about that exosuit spot in the recruitment area. The last thing to note is that now the first item in the mine is always going to be neutronium. No matter what it is, it will always be neutronium. That is impact. To start Era 5, we'll move our focus to the 5th round, flip over another super project that I wish I could make. Unfortunately, I can't. And now we will set up our supplies and move our stacks of buildings. This round we'll have 2 scientists, 1 assistant, and 1 genius. We're going to have to get that genius. Then we have neutronium on the top anyways, so this is not going to be any different. Neutronium, 2 gold, uranium, and a titanium. Let's move those building stacks. We'll move those over. And now I think we're ready for the paradox phase. We each have 1 here, so we both have to roll the paradox die. If either of us roll it, we're both going to get an anomaly. Here we go, you guys. This is for us. We're looking for a blank. We have not rolled a blank yet. I think it's time for a blank. What do you think? Oh, we would get 2, but with 1, that's going to be enough to put us over and get an anomaly. Now let's see. Before I do that, I'm going to do the same thing for the Chronobot right here. Let's see what he gets. And he gets 1, so he also is going to get an anomaly. The Chronobot's going to place an anomaly right here, and he'll remove all this paradox. And I'll have to place an anomaly either here, here, or here. And I think I'm going to do this spot. Now, I could have, with my Harmony ability, I could have given up a building instead of getting an anomaly, but I would prefer to get the anomaly because it's hard for me to build because I'm only going to have 3 exosuits, and I should be able to get rid of this no problem because that's on my board itself. So I could have given up a building, but I didn't. Also, if you saw those workers here, I just took them off. I forgot to put them in the tired spot on my board. They are sleepy. They shouldn't be already on here. We can now each remove a warp tile, and he definitely is going to, and I think I'm going to as well. I could keep it and try and pay it back this turn to get 2 more victory points, but I think I got other things to do. So we both removed it. We're set to go. We're now on to the power-up phase. The Chronobot gets 4 automatically. I get 1 for free. I'll pay a power core for 1 here, and then I'm going to pay these 3 water. 2 plus 1 is 3. These 3 water to build this one. But I only have 3 exosuits. Oh. We now move to the warp phase. This is for the Chronobot and what he's going to ask of his future self. He's asking for 1 item. We'll place this here for the Chronobot, and then I'm going to ask for 1 neutronium and 2 water. This is because I'm thinking of trying to maybe build something or maybe pay off that anomaly as soon as I can. And that would give me exactly what I need. Here comes the Chronobot. He rolls a 5. That build heavy Chronobot is going to build another life support system. But here's the thing. He's totally full on life support systems. So he's just going to get 2 water and a victory point for the normal mode. But he still is going to place a worker there and block me. Ugh! The Chronobot will go here. Thank goodness. Still leaving this spot open. First thing I'm going to do is use a genius and go here to be able to increase my morale, and I'm going to get another genius. I can also get 1 of anything here, and I'm going to get yet another power core. Those things are just going to keep me alive. Because I went into a spot that increased my morale, yoink, I get 2 more victory points. Yes! What would be great is if the Chronobot had a pass that we could roll, but we just can't. Everything that he's doing, except for maybe numbers 3 and 4, we don't want him to do. So, come on, 3 or 4. That's only a third. Oh, that's a 6. That is terrible. This could seal the deal for us, you guys. He gets to buy any super project. That's all he has to do. Well, there is this super project. He always gets the one with the most victory points. That is 8 victory points. He just made 8 points with 1 roll. Oh, I'm going to go with my engineer to the mine, and I'm going to grab a titanium and a uranium. Let's see what he rolls. He gets a 6 a second time. That 6 roll is not bad. Just giving him 2 water. Here's the thing. If I roll a 6 again, I might as well just concede right now. He get another 6 victory points with that roll. I think I'm going to use an assistant and go here. That's going to give me a whole nother exosuit, which is awesome. I'll put that on my board. And I can recruit this assistant here, and that will get me 1 more victory point. Woohoo! Another victory point. That's only my second one that comes on the outside of this. Oh boy. Can you guys chant with me, no 6s? No 6s, no 6s. A 2! At a 2, he's going to build a factory. Now, there are 3 numbers here. Whenever there's 3, you have to put one of them, the highest number, and of a 2, 3, and a 4, the 4, push it to the next spot, because he doesn't want to have 3 of them in one spot like that. So, 2 is here, 3 is here, and the 4 is moved over here. And we're going to build a factory. He'll place his exosuit right here. Ouch. He's got an option between a 2 victory pointer and a 1 victory pointer. Gonna grab the 2 victory pointer. And he'll place this right here. That's his 3rd factory. With that extra exosuit that we got, we're going to place a genius right here. That's going to get us 2 victory points, and we're going to roll the shape die, because I don't really care what this is. Right now, I'm just looking for victory points. That's going to give us 3 victory points in total, because we'll get a breakthrough. We'll place this die on the DNA side. So we get to place one die as what we want, and then we're going to roll the shape die. And we get a triangle DNA. Gosh, we just keep rolling triangles. Here it is, our triangle DNA breakthrough. Here's that Chronobot. He rolls a 5. Looks like he's going to do some recruiting. The recruitment area is full, so he'll place his exosuit here. The only one he can get is a scientist, even though he already has one, and then that's all he can do. We have thwarted him for another round to be able to get 5 victory points with his workers. Yes! I think we're going to do a free action here on our board. So we're going to do this to denote our free action. We're going to use our assistant to come here and supply our workers. We have to pay 4 water because of our power or our life support unit, which divides in half. So here's our 4 water. All of these workers become available to us, and we go up to 8 victory points, which is what I like to see. We are also, for a free action, going to do this, so we get 2 water. Of those 2 water, we're going to pay 1 water and use a scientist here to be able to get 2 gold, and that's our actual action, because that gives us more gold, and that's just like we're having more geniuses. The Chronobot is hungry for victory points. He gets a 1. I must have egged him on. He's going to go build a power plant. Since the build action is full, he'll use his last exosuit to go here. He's going to grab this 3 victory point power station. Oh my gosh! We'll place that right down here. And you guys, I think he's running away with points. I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch him. This is going to have to be our last action. We're going to use a genius who will come back motivated to get 3 more water. Be nice to me, Chronobot. A 2. That isn't bad. With a 2, he's going to try and supply his workers. He has tons of water at this point, so he's going to pay the 5 water so that then he can move up the morale track for 2 points, and then the 2 will move over here. Awesome. Only 2 points? I'll take that. I've passed, so that's going to end this round. Now, what's going to happen is as these workers are pulled off, or thrown off like I just did, as these exosuits are taken off, these spots are going to flip over and become unavailable. Ouch. So the only available spot that's going to be left in the city is that 1 research action. That's it. Once someone goes here, that's going to end the game at the end of that round. To start Era 6, we'll move our focus over to the 6th era. We only have 1 more era if we get there. I'm planning on not letting us get there. I think I'm going to try and finish this up here. We're going to flip this super project. Ooh, rescue pods. Oh, that just says you guaranteed that you've evacuated. I haven't evacuated yet, you guys. I still need to do that, or all of those points with the geniuses and the gold will be worth nothing. So I need to make sure to do that this round if I'm planning on ending the game. This round, for workers, we're going to have 2 engineers, 1 assistant, and 1 more genius. Golly. So the question is, do we want to go for that? I don't know. I got to think. And then for the mine, we have 1 neutronium instead of gold, and then the 3 uranium and 1 titanium. Let's move all those building stacks 1 over. Nice. Now we move to paradox. And we have 2 things we requested last time, and the Chronobot has only 1. So only we have to roll the paradox die. Come on, let it be blank. Oh my gosh. It is blank. Not that it really matters, but still, I like to see that. For our power-up phase, we'll get 1 for free. We'll play 1 power core for this one, and 3 water for the next one. It's so expensive. And we don't get any water income because we don't have any empty spots, and only 3 exosuits. Now we go to warp phase. Let's see what the Chronobot's asking for. He's asking for 1 item. He'll place 1 warp tile here. And then I'm just going to do this, and if I don't end up using it, or if I think it's not useful, I won't use it, and I can just give it up at the end. I'm going to ask for 1 more exosuit. That just gives me some options if I think I can make a bunch of victory points with something. Remember, any of these that I leave on the board and I can't pay off at the end of the game are -2 victory points. So I'd have to net points to leave this on the board. Okay, we're looking to see what the Chronobot's going to do. We're hoping it's not a 6. It's a 5. At a 5, he would build, but he can't build any more factories, so he's just going to get 2 water and 1 victory point on the normal mode. But he is still going to block one of the options for me on the board. He's going to make sure he keeps first player, even though at this point it doesn't really matter. First thing we're going to do, we're going to get our 2 free water since we're so low on water. I think I figured out what my problem was. None of these gave me a ton of water. This made it cheaper to pay my people to bring them back, but give me only 2 water and 3 water. It's just not enough. That's why I'm always running out. I'm going to do another free action on my board by using my leader ability. I'm going to pay 1 gold, or 1 uranium, 1 neutronium, and 2 water, and I'm going to use this scientist to immediately take care of this anomaly. So that just gave me 3 victory points. But I do lose that scientist for the rest of the game. I'm going to use a genius to go here, and this is going to make sure that this game ends this round. I can pick both sides of these dice, so I don't really care about the symbol, but I'm going to do a circle that has the time spot on it. That's going to give me 1 victory point, and then I just need a square to be able to get a total of 5 victory points for my breakthroughs. We took a calculated risk here. Let's see if it pays off. We rolled a 1. I think this will pay off. With rolling a 1, he will time travel, which means he'll remove this warp tile and get 2 victory points, which is a bummer, but that means he's not going to put anything else on the board, and that's what I was hoping for. Since research is totally full, we're going to use Genius to go here, pay our 1 water we have left, to be able to do another research action. And with that research action, we get to pick 1 die and place it as we want, and we roll the other one. We're going to place this as a square, and we'll roll the type, because I don't really care. Oh, okay, I don't even know what to call that. That's a square, I don't know. It looks like a memory chip or something to me. A square memory chip breakthrough. Now back to the Chronobot. Oh, he gets a 4. At a 4, he'd try and build, but he can't build because all those actions are full. So he'll just get 2 water, and then on that normal mode, he'll get the 1 victory point. I'll have to make note of this, but I see that I put this here to say that I did a free action on my board, but I don't see any free action that I've done on my board, so I'm going to do that now. What I'm going to do is use a genius to travel back in time and to pay off some neutronium. I'll take 1 step back to here, and then pay this neutronium that I got from a previous round, and pay that off and get 2 victory points for it. This will push me up to 6 victory points. For my non-free action, I will use an engineer to come here just to simply get 3 water. Chronobot time, looking for not a 1 or a 6. A 3. At a 3, he's going to supply his workers, and he has more than enough water. 2, 4, 6, and he'll go to 5 victory points on there. Ugh. That just gave him 3 more victory points. For my last action of the game, I'm going to put my assistant over here to say that I've evacuated all of my workers. That's going to give me a guaranteed 2 victory points, plus the victory points for all the gold and geniuses that I have. What is the Chronobot going to do for his final turn? A 4. That's nice and simple. He would be doing a research action, but that's all full, so he'll just get 1 victory point for the normal mode and 2 water. And that is all she wrote. The first thing we have to do is fix all the issues in the time frame here. So for the Chronobot, he can just remove it. That's all he has to do. I have to pay 2 water, which I have, and I ended up not using that 4th exosuit, so here's that exosuit, so I'm all set there. No negative points for that. We now move to scoring, so I'll put myself right here, and we'll put the bot right here. So the first thing that we'll score is the buildings. I scored a whopping 9 points for buildings. The Chronobot scored 24 points. Oh my gosh. I did not get a super project. He got 1 super project for 8 points. I did not have an anomaly. He did have an anomaly. We each scored 6 points here. He scored 5 on this. I did score 8 at least on there. I scored 5 victory points for the breakthroughs. He only scored 2. Now, what I'm going to do is this is going to be on the easy mode. So on the easy mode, he just had 5 victory points and nothing here. I had a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 victory points here and none here. On the easy mode, the bot scored 47 points on easy. I scored a whopping 32 points. However, I have not counted my final points for evacuating. So for evacuating, I get 2 points for evacuating and having all of my life support systems. Then I had 9, let me check this. I had a total of 8 gold and 8 geniuses. 8 times 3 is 24. If I add all that up, that gives me 58 points. So as you can see, on easy, I was able to beat the bot pretty substantially. But now adding the normal mode, he got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more victory points. So we'll put that 9 here. And that gets him to 56 victory points. 56! So that means I won by 2 points on the normal mode. Oh my gosh. Now just so you guys can see in comparison, the game that I played that then my camera crashed or my computer crashed, I scored 56 to 53. So a really close and very similar game, 58 to 56. Man, just, this is what I love about this game. So let me talk quick about what I like about this game. First, I really enjoy that the Chronobot, you can see where the numbers are on the board, and so you have an idea of what he's more likely going to do than what he's not based on that. So a 3 and a 4 might be on a build action, and you're going, okay, so that means I might need to build first so that he doesn't take all the build spots. And I feel like from a multiplayer perspective, that's the exact same thing. You can kind of tell when one player is very likely to go and build or very likely to go and recruit. And so you know that, oh my gosh, they're going to do this, so I'm going to get myself in there before that. But with all of that, you can never guarantee it. So when you roll that die, all of a sudden they could roll a 6, and they're doing something totally different than what you were thinking. And that's just like a multiplayer game. I really like how he's trying to collect workers and resources just to get victory points, because one thing that sometimes bugs me is if an AI is really, really in-depth and you spend more time trying to determine what the AI is supposed to be doing. This is a simple yet highly competitive AI. And as you saw, he builds, and that's one of the ways he gets the most points. Look at that, 27 points on with the other playthrough, or 24 in this playthrough that you saw. 24 points in buildings. I mean, that's insane compared to my 9. So, you know, he's going to do that quick and block you out. And so you've got to go and make sure to do your building actions, but then you've got to do all of your other actions. And so it's just, that's a lot of fun. There are so many facets to this game. That is another part I enjoy. I can play this with the 4 different types. So path of harmony, path of dominance, path of development or something, and I can't even remember, the path of progress. And so having those 4 different ones, each that have a front and a back side for the board, plus a front and a back side for the individual, like what you start off with. So this board, I don't even know what you want to call this board. Plus, there's 2 leader abilities, okay? So you've got 2 different leaders you can choose from. And here's the thing. If you ever want to play on hard, play without a leader so you don't get a leader ability. And yeah, if I hadn't had this leader ability, I definitely would have lost, because this allowed me to do so many free actions on my board, which was so incredibly important. I also really like that there are, you can get tons of different workers, yet the exosuits limits what you can do. You can only get a max of 6 exosuits. And so it's not like one of those worker placement problems of the first person to get more workers wins. No, because the exosuits limits that. It's the first person to effectively use their workers will win, and that's what I was able to do. I knew those geniuses would give me points with gold, and that's exactly what I did. I focused on getting gold and geniuses, and you know, if I had played on the other side of this board, I would have had to be looking for a building, for every building you have and an assistant, you get 3 gold. So you'd be looking to try and do that as much as you can. You know, so it's just totally different, gives you a different feel, and I love it. That's enough. I don't think I'm going to say anything else. This game is wonderful. I highly recommend it for anybody who's a gamer and wants a game where they have to think. I would suggest this, especially for a solo. It's got to be in my top 5, at least, if not even like the top 2. So thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.